It's June. It's been about a month since the Grappling Collective competed in lockdown submission wrestling competition in Brisbane, where we took 2 golds. The next on the schedule, it's competition in Australian Capital Territory in Canberra, and me and the boys from Grappling Collective see it as another step to achieve our main goal, and that is to take gold from every single state and to be the best grapplers in Australia.
This is my favorite place.
Tonight, me and boys decided to take it easy. We went for a dinner, and me, Martin, and Matt decided to play some Aqua Golf.
You know what you're doing?
No.
Are they practice shots?
Yeah, they're practice shots. We got there, got a couple of buckets of balls, and me and Martin started to swing. Obviously, our swings were really bad. We were missing the balls. After a little training that May gave us, I started to get a hang of it, but Martin was still struggling with his shots, so I decided to give him a golf club more appropriate to his size.
Yay!
Tonight we had so much fun. We bought 2 buckets of balls, and then after a while we bought another one, because we have so much fun. I never done it before. Definitely Matt, he was the best out of it, and I was useless. And after a while I got better, and I hit further and further, and after a while I had even better time than at the beginning. You're not kids.
It's only for the kids.
After we've changed Martin's golf club, all 3 of us were going pretty good, so we decided to do it more interesting and put down some challenges. We're doing a little challenge here. Who's going further? The one that lost, 10 push-ups.
Say, Daniel, you're gonna lose it.
I gotta go over the fence.
Marty! 1, 2, 3.
One more.
So Daniel's just changed the rules. It's not out that way now, it's out this way. So hopefully I'm not doing 10 push-ups.
Oh, look at him!
Yeah! 1, 2, 3, 4. Alright, we're laying down the laws with a new challenge. Furthest that way, one-handed, lose 20 push-ups.
Fuck off.
Oh yeah!
Can someone please call Tiger Woods?
One, 2, 3. They're just trying to stack the odds against me because they can't beat me. Oh. Oh. That was the biggest shot you've hit all day. What?
After the amount of push-ups that me and Martin did on the night, I think we'll have to take a week off the training.
Here's my bag.
Today is Friday, we only have 9 days left to Canberra come. Me and boys from Grappling Collective decided to mix things up, and we did a bit of circuit training, a bit of endurance, focus on the power. It was a very tough workout, it was around 45 minutes. It was me, Jacob and Matt training together. It was actually really fun because we always roll together, practice technique together, but we actually never train in the weight room together, so it was really fun. About 50 minutes in, Matt wanted to give up, but me and Jacob would never let him give up. We pushed him, and then he pushed himself right to the end, finished workout with us. And I think he found it really beneficial because he realized even if you're really tired and you want to give up, there's always something to work for. And I think that was the most important lesson for Matt tonight. Tonight workout was probably last workout in the weights room from Monday. We're just gonna take it easy. We're gonna do a bit of technique, not really sparring because we don't wanna get hurt. Maybe we go through the position after the training sessions, especially positions we don't feel comfortable in, so maybe we mix it up. So next week, just easy, focus on technique and get mentally ready for a comp. We are going there and we're gonna take 4 golds.
So welcome to Storm Warning. Last night, the boys and I, we travelled down from Sydney. It was a long drive, but it was worth it. And this morning we got up early. It was freezing cold, but we turned up and the comp was a lot bigger than we thought. The first guy fighting from the Grappling Collective was Daniel. He did what he did last time in Brisbane, and he didn't want to compete in the same weight category as me, so he went up to the 100 kilo division and he did what he always does. He took it slow, he took his time. The guy that he was fighting was huge. I would dare say he'd be over 110 kilos, and Daniel grabbed him by the arm. He went for a standing Kimura. The guy defended, and Daniel ended up taking him down from it. And then from there went on to do every position under the sun. He got side control, he got back mount, he got front mount. After about 3 minutes, he didn't end up finishing the match, and there was a bit of confusion because earlier they told us that it was a 3-minute match, and Daniel was anticipating the timer to expire, and he ended up getting swept because he thought the match was over. But he ended up coming back. He got on top again, threatened for another submission, and they called time. But Daniel was a bit disappointed in himself, but the rest of us, we knew how much he'd achieved. Again, he went for 100 kilos, and he got the win for all of us in the first fight of the day. So all very happy for him. When it came around to my first match of the day, I really wanted to show the boys how much better I could do and how more in control of my emotions I could be after Brisbane, and I think I did it. For the first 4.5 minutes, it was really uneventful. The guy really didn't want to lock up with me. Every time I went in, he backed away. Every time I got in the clinch, he broke free and stepped back. And with 20 seconds left in the round, the guy shot in for a pretty sloppy single leg, and on the way in, I'd caught him around the neck. I knew I had to finish it, so I ended up going for a jumping guillotine. It ended up in a mounted guillotine, and with 2 seconds left in the round, I ended up getting the win by tap out. And it was a pretty awesome way to end a very, very uneventful match. And the boys behind me, I could hear them cheer, and they loved it as much as I did. With Marty and Jacob, the whole week before they'd been cutting weight. Marty wanted to get down to 60 kilos and compete at that weight, and Jacob, same, he wanted to get down to 70 kilos. Marty's first match, almost right at the start, he went for this takedown with a double leg, and he almost took out the judges' table when he went for it, so the referee stopped it and reset them. And Marty straight away went for another takedown. The guy ended up sprawling on this one, and basically the whole match was the guy sprawled on top of Marty when Marty was trying to finish the takedown, and they ended up giving Marty the win because the takedown that would have occurred at the start had the judges' table not been there. So we're all very happy. Marty's first win of the day, and he deserved it.
This is yours, Jacob. This is yours.
In Jacob's first match, he was really dominating stand-up, and he managed to get a takedown on the guy. The takedown was really close to the edge of the mat, and he had to drag his opponent back in. He dragged him back in, and he managed to do quick transition to side control, and then another transition to full mount, where he managed to secure really nasty choke, the same choke as he did in a lockdown submission wrestling, and he tapped the guy out without any troubles.
In Daniel's finals match didn't happen too much. On the beginning, the guy pulled him down in his car. They've been wrestled like 4 minutes in the guy's car, and like 1 minute to go, Daniel passed in a half guard. He gathered points, and he won with up points. Daniel was a bit disappointed about his final match. He won't submit the guy or to get more points. The guy couldn't do anything to him. I told him not to worry, he did what he had to do, he won. In Marty's second match, he wrestled with a guy who was much taller than him. but he done it very well. He done it many takedowns. He took his bag. He got it many points. Everything that Marty went, he finished. And the guy, he couldn't do nothing to him. He defended everything. It was pretty much looking like a freestyle match for me, but it was really good. All Marty's match, he was in control. He defended all his takedowns. On the end, he did his bag, he got the points, and also he defended his takedown like maybe 2 seconds to go. And then he went to the final.
In Jacob's second match, it ended up being the final for his weight division, and his opponent ended up tricking Jacob to get him onto the ground, and there was a really nasty head clash right from the start. From there, Jacob transitioned into the guy's guard, and the guy ended up getting really high guard and then locking in a triangle choke. It was really tight, and there was a bit of confusion with the rules as to what was allowed with slams and what wasn't allowed. And when Jacob was caught in this, he kind of lifted the guy up, came down hard on the guy to get out of it, and the judge called it right then and there as a disqualification, so not much we can do about it. In my second match, I tried to do pretty much the same as I did in my first. I kept calm. I didn't want to rush. In the first 10 seconds, I ended up getting the guy around the neck in a pretty nasty standing guillotine, and instead of finishing, I went for the takedown and ended up on top. And the rest of the match was pretty much the same, just me on top in working from side control back to I tried to go to full mount and ended up getting a Kimura on the guy, but he defended really well, and he got out of it. Ended up getting back into side control, and I ended up winning the match by decision. And I would have liked to get a finish, but a win's a win.
After my second fight, Jacob took me on the side. He helped me get my mind straight. He talked to me and he told me that I'm gonna be fine. After that, I feel really confident. I went there. I was trying to do the same thing as in my 2 fights before. I went for the first takedown of the fight. I ended up on the guard, and he ended up on a full mount, and he was trying to cut me on a triangle. I was defending, but after a while he did it. For 1 minute I was defending, so I said to myself that I'm not gonna tap at all. After a while I just heard that it's a time, and I knew that I lost it. I learned a lot from that fight, and that fight made me going to train harder and harder.
The last match of the day was mad. It was very different match that I saw in lockdown submission wrestling in Brisbane. In this particular match, the guy tried to take him down with some sloppy underhook takedown, and Matt just kept rolling with him and ended up on his back, where he managed to secure a body triangle, and then he just cross-faced him, and the guy had nothing left, and he just stepped out. He was really confident, he didn't rush to anything, and in all his matches he really took his time, and I think he learned a big lesson in the Brisbane, and from now on his style is going to be very different. After a long trip down to Canberra, our record on the day was 7 wins, 1 loss and 1 disqualification. What is more important, now we hold golds from New South Wales, Queensland and Australian Capital Territory. 3 states down, 5 to go.
After competition, Matt brought us to see Parliament House, which is behind me. So beautiful, hectic building. And then we decided to apply about citizenship, and we showed them how we can wrestle, and we roll a bit with Daniel in front of the house, talk to some security guys if he has any chance to get citizenship, and I reckon we will. Who's next?